This is Deputy Inspector Sony Beauvoir, and I'm here with Young Informed Media.
Yes. What's going on, everybody? Noah from Young Informed here.
Matthew from Young Informed.
And today we have a very special guest that we last spoke to in February 2024 when he was captain of the 105th Precinct. We want you all to give a very warm welcome to Commanding Officer Sony Beauvoir.
Thank you.
Since our last conversation in 2024, what steps led to your promotion to Commanding Officer of the 116th Precinct?
Wow, that's a very good question. First and foremost, I always start saying thank you for having me again. It's really thrilled to be in you guys' presence. You know,
Yes.
Obviously starting from where we were, and you guys were a whole lot younger, and seeing you guys all grown now, so it's really good to see. So the step that took for me to actually get here, so being the commander of the 105th Precinct, which is the first time, commander, I was thrilled, ecstatic, overjoyed, so to speak, dealing with the community and heading one of the busiest precincts in the city.
Yeah.
So the idea was, and we all kind of knew the precinct itself, because it was so used as far as geographically, that it was going to split, right, to make kind of work easier for the most part. Also supplying the community faster service, right? Because one of the issues that we actually had is because the community was waiting for so long for police response, right? They became frustrated and they feel like they were being underserved. So the split of the precinct was to provide extra resources to the community down in Rosedale, Springfield Gardens, Brookville, and Lawton, right? So now that we're actually here, when the opportunity presented itself, who should be better to lead, the new precinct is someone who's already used to the community, who knows what the struggles are, right? And gonna do everything in their power to make sure they provide the resources and make sure the cops that we actually receive from other boroughs, other communities, that they understand why they're here, right? And the reasons why, we are here. If I'm gonna be, blatant about it, what happened is people come from different places and they may not know why they're here. They just knew a brand new precinct is formed, everybody wants to come, right? But I had to be that person to say, hey, listen, the community wants you here and this is why they want you here. So I think I was the best candidate to actually lead the precinct as far as opening. And obviously it's history for me in the making, right? Because a brand new precinct doesn't happen every single day. So to have the opportunity to be the first one, to open up a brand new precinct, is clearly an honor.
Yes, and that's crazy because I remember when we last spoke to you, I was a freshman in high school, Matthew was in 8th grade, and I remember that the 105th Precinct, it covered like the southern area of Queens, but it was like a wide range. But when I did my research today and I saw the 116th Precinct covered our specific areas,
Absolutely,
like Springfield Gardens, Rosedale, Brookville, all the areas that we're familiar to, it was really nice to see that, like we were more focused on a little bit, individualized.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I congratulate you on what
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, we're really thankful that you took up this opportunity and spread it like more areas. It's like great. So what has been your biggest shift in responsibility since you started leading an entire command? So
I will say this, right? When we first opened, and I think there was a quote that I made. I said, we opened up a brand new precinct, but the work does not get done inside a building. The officers have to be outside, getting connected with the community. And fortunately for me, I was able to handpick quite a few officers, right, to lead this community, to respond to the community's needs. Whether that's sergeants, lieutenants, and police officers, I had a really good hand in picking and selecting the individual, which I believe shared my vision, right, of what I wanted for the community. So those guys came in and they helped me, right, to make sure we keep everything in line. What is the community needs, right? We respond to the community. Just like today, we have a big turkey giveaway. We want to give back. We are grateful for the opportunity because not every single place in New York City welcomes a new precinct. People might feel like, oh, they've been over policed, right? Over here, we're not trying to send that message. we want to be there for the community and to make sure we help out the best way that we can. So I have this thing where I don't do the job, right, the way I want to do it. I'm doing it the way it best benefit the community. So if the community say, hey, listen, that's not what we're really looking for, and it doesn't make sense overall, then yeah, let's police a different way. Because at the end of the day, quality of life is what matters here, right, in this community. So if we can alleviate the quality of life for the community here, to me, that's a win.
Right.
Because I'll be honest with you, we're already down in violence, as far as shootings, compared to last year, what happened around this neighborhood. We are 2 versus 10. What exactly what that means? Last year we had about 10 shootings. So far this year, it's only been 2, and the year's almost over. So drastic difference as far as crime solving and everything like that.
Right.
And that's actually due to the increased police presence, right? It's more lives saved. Last year around this time, we had 4 murders. So far this year, none.
Wow.
You understand? So gun violence definitely has taken a big drop in this community, and I'm thrilled and I'm very grateful for the officers who actually make it their mission for the public safety as well.
Right. That's amazing. And in a lot of the answers you've said today, the key point has been community and how important that is. And so I wanted to ask, how has your relationship with the community evolved since you took command, especially in homeless detention?
That's a great question. I remember I had my community council meeting here, which we actually have one every month, except for the summer we take a break. So the community council meeting, and obviously at that point I had to put out to the community that I am leaving, the 116 and moving on. And if I tell you I was not overwhelmed, right, by the level of support, obviously they were sad. Some people had tears in their eye because I was leaving,
right,
but that's also due to the relationship I've developed over the years, right? I've made this neighborhood my family. So I've connected with a lot of people. So I think after they see this connection, and now all of a sudden you breaking those ties, for some people, and I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it, for some people, it's hard to see that separation. Because when you build a bond, and all of a sudden, they're not mad as far as me moving on for bigger and better things, so to speak. They are sad. One, it's too short, but also, bond is not easy to actually build. So when you build one, which actually includes trust, and now all of a sudden you say, hey, I have to deal with somebody brand new and I have no idea if we're ever gonna have those connections. So my connection to the community, is probably what I'm gonna miss the most, because they've shown me love and affection, and I believe I've given it back as well. So that's why it's so hard, for this departure to take place. Right. So if you ask me about my connection with the community, that's what it is. Bond that we built, and I've assured them that, there's no breakage. So even though I'm leaving, I had in my command here in the 116, I have an open door policy to my officers and to the community. So I told them, even though I'm moving to Brooklyn, my door's still gonna remain open. So if you ever need me for anything I could facilitate, I'm also gonna be there regardless.
Right. That's amazing. Wow.
Yes, that's amazing. I like how you dug deep into what your opinion is on the community and saying how much it affects you and how much it affects also your officers. That's great.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, the work that we do is not easy, but the appreciation we also get from the community, that they like what we do, and they express it during the meetings when we have our meetings, that means a whole lot more to me. And I'll say this, people will not get teary-eyed or show the overwhelming support if they didn't really think or believe in you.
Right.
So that's what we're looking for to build. And I believe, I could have used more time to build that even more. At the same token, I believe personally, because I've been around the community, even though the 116 is brand new, I've been around the community for a long enough time to where that relationship is built, the bond is there. So regardless of what, it's gonna remain there. I've even said that, hey, listen, hopefully this is not my last time being in Queens. I could come back in a different capacity,
right,
but still want to be connected with the people.
Right. Yeah, your impact in the community is shown by how people react to things like this. So, it's like a testament to how much work you've done and how much effort you've put in. And, yeah, it's just a testament to your character.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you've definitely shown like a lot of expansion through definitely only your words so far. A lot of expansion on like how much you think about the community and your work and how much you love your job. So through leading the 116th precinct, how does it change your perspective on what modern policing should be in Queens?
Wow, that's good, man. I have my community council president, and that was obviously we put the election process and they select Mr. Bill Perkins to be the president of the community council. And one of the things that we spoke about is, having the 116 precinct be the standard for the entire NYPD, right? Meaning that what we represent as a precinct should be what's modeled, right, for every single other precinct within the city. And this is one of the things I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am very competitive, right? So it really doesn't matter what it is. I feel like whatever field I got into, I'm gonna be competitive regardless.
Right.
So I want to make sure that this precinct flourishes, whether I'm here or not here. So I want that model to be the best at everything that we do. Because if I'm being honest with you, crime is one thing, but if you don't have the community with you, it means nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. So I believe and I keep saying it, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's because I do believe in the community, because they've held me accountable.
Right.
They've made sure that what they're looking for is what I provide, right? And that makes me better. So I believe, being here prepped me for even a bigger mission that I actually have in life. I say I'm competitive. I always want to be number one in everything that I do, right? Sometimes you're going to fall short. Yeah, absolutely. But you never give up. So I do believe this precinct, the way we actually bond with the community, as you see here when you guys walked in, you see we have like a whole, setup been taking place for the turkey giveaway. We have even when prior to the school opens, we had a backpack giveaway along with 70 free haircuts that we give, to the kids in the community, right? And that's from volunteers from the barbershops around the neighborhood. They give their time because they believe in what we were doing, right? And help chip in. So I hope that continues, whether I'm here or not here, because like I said, when you build relationships, you don't want it to dissolve if the guy who's in charge is no longer there. So I want to make sure we kept this community as a staple, that what should be followed in the entire NYPD is be there for the community, because clearly that's why we're here. So I want to make sure that this precinct and what other precinct I go to serve as a staple. Hey, listen, this is what we're trying to build. We're trying to build this trust, right, with the community, and this is how we're going to go about it, right? That we have to be there for the community because they want us to be there, but we have to build that trust.
Right. Wow. I mean, community bonding, free haircuts, turkey giveaways. My goodness. You've accomplished a lot in just a year of being commanding officer. But what specific accomplishments in your first year of commanding officer are you most proud
of? Specific accomplishments. Well, I'll say this, right? We do this job and we don't know exactly what it has in stores for us, right? But you do it because you love doing your job. My heart is with the precinct. My heart is with the community. And I have this whole thing that was happening. So I remember I got recognized by the Assemblywoman, Alicia Hyman, I think in June. And the same June that I got recognized, the same June, the police commissioner had called me for a promotion to deputy inspector. And I think also I had an award that I was set to receive by MIPO in Queens. And those three things happening at once. So sometimes blessing comes, you don't know when it's gonna come, right? I feel like it was a blessed month for me, when I got the call for promotion, because at the end of the day, these things are discretionary. You're not sure if you're ever gonna be qualified for it. So when you work hard every single day and someone finally recognizes it, say, hey, listen, at this point, you're gonna deserve your promotion. So I think that one accomplishment, really meant a lot to me. But what I've accomplished here, as a whole, if I say would be the number one thing, it would be being able to take officers from Staten Island, from the Bronx, from Brooklyn, from other parts of Queens, and unite them together to serve this community. Because somebody from the Bronx doesn't have the same type of encounter that they're gonna have in this part of Queens. So now you have to take these officers and shape them to where you want them to be and how to serve this community. I think that's been my biggest accomplishment, to have all these guys. Because when we first started, some of these guys didn't know where they were. They had to use GPS to go to those jobs, right? But now they're being able to drive and have functions together and be able to learn each other and be a cohesive unit. I think that's really my biggest accomplishment.
It's amazing.
That's great.
Thank you.
So reflecting earlier, you said a lot about the turkey giveaway and, just overall community engagement. So how do you think the turkey giveaway you're doing today, how do you think it reflects your overall opinion on community engagement?
So this is what happens, right? Sometimes you have to gauge on how the community responds based on how they're willing to help you, right? So the turkey giveaway is not something like we have like, oh, we just have money to go buy it. There had to be some donations, there had to be some things given. And when people are willing to help your cause, right? Because what we had to do is understand like, hey, listen, certain benefits was cut off, even though now they may have gotten it back or put a pause on it, but a lot of people do not have the means to purchase one. Right? So if we could do what we can do to generate the funds, we were able to actually have people who lived in the community who's fortunate enough to be able to actually fund us the money to buy the turkeys to give it to the community.
Right.
And when we had our community council, the amount of people who volunteers their own time to help give away the turkey, that means a lot to me. That means you believe in what's being done here. You believe in serving the people. And I'm thrilled to actually have that kind of partnership with the community to where they're willing to help me to make the community better.
Right. That's amazing. And I feel like you have done a really good job. Earlier you said, you wanted to be the example for all other precincts in the city. And I feel like you are doing a really good job because, community bonding is very important because in certain communities, some communities, I know you've heard like some people don't like the police or some people, just hate the police for reasons, many reasons. But to show that we're all one instead of, combat each other, it brings the community together. And that's why, crime rates drop. And that's why you see the community together. The city becomes a place where more people love to be. It becomes a place of love instead of hate. So, what you're doing is really important, even in the little ways.
No, and I completely agree with that. Listen, I like to be transparent in what I'm doing because I do believe transparency goes a long way. And the same way you mentioned, there are neighborhoods that does not like the police. I've worked with some of those, coming up on the police department. So I completely understand, there is a disconnect. And I feel like, at some point, we all may have taken part of it, not realizing that we're like pawn in the game, so to speak, right? But now I've come to the understanding of what's really important, and it's really the community, right? I said this, I started my career in PSA2 in housing in East New York, and I wanted to go back there to be a commanding officer because I wanted to give back. Because I felt like, that taught me a lot as far as a young police officer being out there, and certain things that I saw I didn't like, and I wanted to make sure I go back and make things right. Even though it did not happen, I didn't go back to PSA2, but the blessing comes here. It doesn't mean that my job stops being done. I still continue to do it, and that's why I said, like, listen, if I could set the example for this precinct to flourish to where now we can become the staple for every single other precinct within the city, and if that gets accomplished, then I feel like even though I'm not directly at PSA2, but my impact is gonna reach over there based on what I'm doing over here, So that's how I look at it, So, and I say this, and I'm not trying to over preach as far as the community, but because I have seen the effects and the results that we've gotten, I can't stop talking about it because truth of the matter is, it's what makes me right now. The support I've gotten from every single person that I've actually, stepped foot in this command, the way you treat people, when they call you and they're able to get you, even if they don't get you at the first ring, but the second one they got you, or you have a missed call, but you call them back. People want to feel like, oh, I am appreciated. Oh, he didn't just blow me off or whatnot. He reached out back to me.
Right.
I think these things matters a lot, and I'm trying to give back as much as I can, and I wish the very best to the other individual who takes over this precinct to run it, because at the end of the day, I may be leaving, but I've mentioned this is my baby. I was there from start to finish,
right.
And I want to make sure it flourishes. And when I start here, I don't want it to end. I want it to continue to grow, even when I'm long gone from the police department.
Right. Now, what's next on your mission? Paint the picture for what that looks like.
Wow. It's hard to predict how the future is gonna go. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but what we do have is a vision. And that vision that I have does not change. So even though I am here and I am looking forward to the next mission, but the vision, remains the same. The vision is to, hey, listen, you know what? I'm going to a neighborhood that historically is known for excessive violence, right? But I'm trying to look at it a different lens. What can I do to suppress those, And that's how I'm looking at life as a whole. Because I do have, young kids, and I want to make sure, my daughter said something. She's like, oh, Daddy, you always get an award. Like, what's going on? And those things for me, I'm not looking for the award, but there's a reason why you do get nominated for something, right? And at the end of the day, I want to make sure I keep doing the thing that I believe in my heart is right? Which is connecting the community. Because I feel like if it's working one place, right? And if I'm able to change one life, right? If I go to the next place, I'm able to do the same thing. One life saved, to me means a whole lot. You're not gonna be able to save everybody, because we know that's not the case. But if I could save one life, make one life better, or present a different opportunity, that means a whole lot more to me. When we're one of the fortunate precincts that have a community room here, right? And the room is being used literally for the community. And what I have done since I've been here during the summertime, and even throughout the school year, where we'll have kids come in and we'll ask for volunteers to teach like financial literacy courses, safety courses. Good. Yeah, so we want to make sure that we don't just like, oh, okay, no problem, let's go play basketball, let's go play. That's not what we want to do here, because I think, being also able to understand how to survive in this world without basketball, without something else, that's also important. Right. I believe education is one thing, and I wish I had gotten that, when I was coming up. Somebody tell you like, oh, listen, this is how you invest, or this is how, if you're trying to get into real estate or whatever the case may be. So I'm grateful for the community as also was able to volunteer their time to come in here and teach financial literacy to the young adults. But it also goes to show you that they want to help. The community wants to help once you get them involved, and that means a whole lot more to me. So that's my vision going forward as well. I'm not gonna just stop it here. If I get the opportunity to go somewhere else and provide those same services, that's what I'm going to do, because I do believe the community has a lot of people who has a lot of resources and who are very smart and who can help a lot. Right. So why not tap into it and use them to help the community grow?
That's amazing. Yeah, I wish you nothing but the best on your future endeavors. You're doing great things. And
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Yes, also you're gonna do even more.
Most definitely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
Well, that's all the questions we had to ask today. Thank you so much for speaking with us. It was a beautiful conversation. If you have anything else to say, feel free.
I'm gonna say this, right? I met you guys, and as you so well put together that, it was a pleasure then. It's even more of a pleasure now. It means a lot to me that you guys take your time out to come here and interview me. It meant a lot to me then, and it still means a lot to me now. So hopefully this is not the last interview that you guys have done with me, because I still want to not only just follow you guys, but please keep in contact, with my career, because at the end of the day, I feel like I have bigger goals to accomplish, so hopefully you guys are still part of it, as we move on to our next adventure. And great, good luck with school, and I hope you guys excel. I don't see why you guys shouldn't excel, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna wish you the very best as well. It's a pleasure, always a pleasure with you guys, man.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for watching. That was it for today's episode. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.